Okay, so the G7 is still happening basically. I think today is one of the last days. But during this time, it's not just the G7 that's happening in Canada or in Alberta. It's basically Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, inviting people who aren't members of the G7 to the conference. So the first thing is Donald Trump just left early because of the conflict that's happening with Israel and Iran, and basically how they're escalating towards war. And for some reason, he thinks that he can solve something or have some deal to stop something. I don't know what he thinks he can do, but he's decided to leave the G7 meeting for that after one day. So they all waited for him to be the last person to arrive, and he's the first person to leave. And so while they're there, it's also making big news in Canada because Vladimir Zelinsky is there, not a member of G7. It's Ukraine, but he's invited there to deal with the war between Russia and Ukraine. And then the next person who's invited is Modi, the Prime Minister of India. And that has created this massive protest here. There's like counter protests downtown of people who are pro Modi, but there's a huge population of Sikh people who live in Canada, especially in Western Canada, in Calgary, and there is a protest with flags and everything like that because a couple of years ago, a man, his name was Hardeep Singh Nejjar, he was assassinated by the Indian government while in British Columbia, Canada. And so people are like, this is all, you can Google this. The RCMP, the federal police, did investigations. It was leaked to Justin Trudeau. It was all over the news, all over the world. And so people are protesting Modi being there because he's a representative of the Indian government. And then there's a whole bunch of other issues in Canada right now with the Indian government, with like foreign interference, spying, lots of Indian people taking advantage of like foreign worker programs and visas and students, and all that is all happening right now in Canada. So it's a huge topic that people are talking about. So it would be important to watch the G7 meetings and all that stuff, whatever you can, because I think that Modi just came last night. So I would watch all of those things and see if they have any statements that are going to come out of the Canadian government about India as well. What do you think about this?